Seems like a good spot. Well, I guess I can't really see my notebook. So I guess I'll just try to free talk this one. Well, howdy y'all. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this is going to be more of a swimming upstream video, more than a biblical video, but they go hand in hand. So um, anyway, let me try to get comfortable in this tree. Um, so just the subject today that I want to talk about is being yourself. And I know that you hear that a lot in today's culture. It doesn't look like anybody's living it out, but I wanted to kind of explain the biblical be yourself, instead of the worldly be yourself, because there is a difference. So the world wants you to think that, it always says be yourself, be unique, all that kind of stuff. But when you really look around in the world today, especially in, at least in the age bracket of mine and with my siblings and just, I guess, the younger adults, and younger adults and younger, everybody almost looks the same. Like all the young men look the same. They dress the same. They have the same hairstyle. They talk the same. They walk the same. And then you have the young women who all look the same, wear the same clothes, have the same hairstyle, wear the same makeup, walk the same way, talk the same way, you know, all that. And so everybody just looks the same. No one is unique. No one has their own personality, really, because everybody wants to fit in with the crowd. Um, and so I want to just briefly talk about, Christians being different, especially talking to the young brothers and sisters around my age, who are struggling with wanting to be, want to fit in. So something that my dad always says, and he literally always says this. Um, he says, "Be who you're going to be, whether you're in private or whether you're in public." And there's multiple reasons for this. One is because you don't want to be two-faced. You don't want to act a certain way in front of people and act a different way at home. And I think this is especially important, as young men and women who are hoping to court and get married one day. But if you're being two-faced, in front of your family, you're not acting the same way as you're in front of that person, then you're being, dishonest to this person, and they think that they're getting to know this person, but it's not actually them. It's just a front. But my dad always says, it doesn't matter where you are, always be you. And so I've really, in my life, there's been certain times where I've wanted to fit in, be like other people. But as I've grown more and more in the Lord, I've come to care less. I've learned to be okay with being different. And as you can tell, I enjoy climbing trees. I'm barefoot, like you pretty much always. I'll even go to friends' house barefoot. I just like being barefoot. I like wearing overalls. I'll wear those out to the stores. It just doesn't bother me, to have people look at me, differently, because you don't really see young men in overalls anymore, and going barefoot. Obviously, I don't go into stores barefoot, but um, just when people come over and things. But it's just who I am. And the reason that I say that there's a difference between being yourself in a worldly standpoint and then in a biblical standpoint is because with the world standpoint, it's be yourself, do what you want to do, it's your life. But with the Christian view, it's I'm not aiming to please man, I'm aiming to please God. And so, as far as men go, I don't really care what they say, on certain subjects. Obviously, I'm going to take, reproof or, teaching from people. But I don't care, like, if they make fun of me that I wear overalls, or they make fun of me that I like to climb trees, or they make fun of me that I go barefoot everywhere, or, whatever the case may be, because I'm not aiming to please men. I want to please the Lord. And not that me wearing overalls is more holy than anything else. That's not what I mean. But as long as I'm honoring and glorifying the Lord, that's all that matters. So like, I'm not going to tell you to go be yourself, do what you want to do. That doesn't mean, well, I want to sin. I'm not going to advocate for that, because I first say glorify God and care what God thinks first and foremost, and then anything after that, just be yourself. Just do, if you're glorifying God, wear overalls, wear, whatever your style is. Don't be conformed to this world, which I'm going to give you multiple scriptures, and I'll put them up on the screen, and I'll kind of narrate them.
Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. 1 John 2:15 through 17. Do not love this world or things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh, and the desires of the eyes, and the pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires. But whoever does the will of God abides forever.
The Lord wants us to be different from the world. We're not supposed to be conformed to the world. We're supposed to be aliens. We're supposed to be foreigners. We're supposed to not look like everybody else. And in today's society, it's like I said, you see a lot, be yourself, but everybody looks the same. Everybody does the same things. All the houses are starting to look the same, cookie cutter houses. Um, Everybody has to have the same car. Everybody, it's just, no one can put their own spin. No one can add character to the world, because everybody wants to be like everybody else, because they don't want to be made fun of, or they just want to fit in. Um, and so, what I've learned, and I've heard a lot of people say the same thing, that are going through the same, that are thinking of the same things, is I've made it to the point to where you either like me or you don't, and it doesn't bother me either way. I'd like to have you as a friend, but I don't have to have you as a friend. I'm okay. I'm content with just I'm content with the Lord. I don't need anybody else. You look at a lot of the prophets, and they were all alone. All the rest of the Israelites and stuff were, going doing their own thing, sinning, while the prophets, all they had was the Lord. You look at Elijah, and Elijah's in that cave saying, Lord, I have, there's nobody else. And the Lord said, I have 7,000 other people stored up that has not bowed the knee to Baal, but they were, invisible. He couldn't see them right then and there. Um, but the Lord is sufficient. Like, I don't have to be popular. I don't have to go along with what everybody else says and thinks. I'm just who I am, and if you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Um, and so I just wanted to say, talk about this, because, again, I just see in today's culture where everybody has to be the same, do the same, wear the same, think the same, and that's not healthy, because God made each and every person unique. There's not one of us that are the exact same. Um, and so when everybody's trying to fit inside this pre-made box, that this is what makes you popular, if you do these things, wear these things, say these things, it becomes depressing to that person, because this is not who I actually am. This is not what I really want to do, but I want to fit in. And they actually I guess they start to believe that those are the things that they enjoy, but it most likely isn't. And so I just call, all the young, this goes for young and old alike, but especially to the younger generation, thinking they have to fit in. You don't have to. Just, if the Lord is your friend, if the Lord is your best friend, you couldn't ask for a better friend. I don't need friends. I like to have friends, but I don't have to have friends. And the Lord has blessed me with a lot of like-minded friends that, we've just met recently. That's just been incredible. Before, it was just us and the Lord, but the Lord's showing us multiple people that are on the same path, that aren't following the ways of the world, that aren't don't care to be conformed to it, don't care to be um, liked, or want to fit in. We're just seeking to glorify the Lord, and that's it. We just seek to glorify the Lord. As long as I'm glorifying the Lord, I'm going to be myself. You know, I'm not going to try to glorify God and then also try to please men. That's what God would say, friendship with the world is enmity with God. You don't want to fit in with the world. You want to be different. If you're not different, you might want to check yourself. I've had to do that multiple times. Um, when I first became a Christian, I would have to check myself. Okay, am I fitting in with the world, or am I swimming upstream, as my channel is based upon? And praise the Lord, He's taught me more and more and more, and I'm content with Him. Nothing else matters. What I wear. If people laugh at me because I wear overalls or I climb trees or whatever, so be it. The Lord loves me, and that's all that I need to know. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it was encouraging to you, and I encourage you to swim upstream. I encourage you to be yourself, glorify God first, and as long as being yourself isn't sinful, as far as what you want to do, be yourself. Just be yourself. It's so much better, it's so much more freeing just to be yourself and to know that God is whom I'm seeking to please and not man. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Till next time, keep swimming upstream.